Hi folks, you're with Tacitus today at your pushback channel, and thank you for joining this audio radio live stream. In this essay, I'd like to talk about the workplaces of the future. Now, what caught my eye is a company that we, my company that I overshare and that we do business with and have done business with. And so I keep an eye on what some of these folks are up to. And I noticed they advertised a very prestigious and quite senior, well-paying job to plan the workplace of the future, what their workforce will look like in the years to come. Now, they've got something around like 2,000 employees. They're almost 100% relying on government contracts, and there's a lot of government controls over the prices and what they do. And because of that government control and government protection, if you will, the government also, through the back room, has a big say in the structure of their workforce. Now, it so happens that their biggest office or manufacturing centre is in an area of Australia where it's about 98% white. So if they're going to reflect the community that they serve, as the saying goes, then it would be a 98% white. But instead, they're going for a target of 50% non-white. And so they're having to bus people in from quite a distance away, and then they've got to pay them allowances for travel and then give them half an hour travelling time because they got to come from. So the dispensations that you get, these are not available to white people, of course, only to brown and black folks, but it's an indication of just how much white people are being squeezed out of the social equation all across the Western world, not just in Australia, and how determined it is. And obviously it's under globalist direction and globalist control, but they really do want to get rid of us white folks, and they're working hard to do it. I guess it's surprising at how many white people they're able to co-opt into doing it, how many white people are going along with the idea of destroying white society and white history and white culture. That's the bit that throws me often. But anyway, so this workplace of the future. Now, it turns out there's actually a section on the website that if you dig through, it's not on the front, but if you dig through the section on the website. Now, the job is supposed to be, you plan the work, this is the workplace of the future. How will the workplace of the future look? How will it be made up? We believe in diversity, equity, inclusion. We believe, and so they come out with a whole lot of globalist talking points in there. But when you look at the graphics and the visuals of the futuristic workplace, you're lucky to see, in fact, you don't see any white man. If there is a white man anywhere, they're so far in background that you can't tell whether they're white or not. All the people in foreground are brown or black, or women with a lot of tattoos and body piercing and so on. There's an important looking white woman who looks rather butchy, so I'm guessing lesbian. So anyway, you have a look at that, and it's wow. Where are the white men? I mean, they're just not there. White people are a minority, probably 15 to 20%, somewhere around there, and they're all white women. Some are sort of light brown, so I suppose they could be, like say paler coloured Asians and Indians, things like that. But basically, there's it's an 80% black brown, and no white males, and the white females are wearing rainbow flag with, again, body piercing and tattoos. So that's the workforce of the future. That includes people that appear to be managerial and supervisory as well, at least in the depictions. So we're talking about some fantasy world like Wakanda. How realistic can this be? Is the whole thing just a fantasy? The thing about it is that the job pays about 5 times the average wage. So this is not an average wage gig. In that area, you do all right on that sort of wage. So it struck me as rather odd. But look, it's pretty much any depiction you see now of the Western world anywhere in the white Western world, whether it be Canada, Australia, United States, Britain, wherever. The impression you get is that white people barely exist. And there's various propaganda, of course, doing the rounds now that really all of Europe was black until Evil Whitey came along and did something terrible and genocide. The insanity is beyond comprehension, and yet it's not getting any pushback. And the greater the insanity, the more it's accepted. The media don't push back, the government doesn't push back, none of our institutions push back. There is no pushback at all. It is any lie is hungrily accepted, and any lie can become fact if nobody is pushing back. And if the entire media and corporate and government and so on are all a bunch of groveling globalist flunkies, then none of them are going to push back or question it or anything of the sort. And it shows if you look at Westminster in Britain or the Canberra, the Australian Parliament, or wherever, it doesn't matter, Washington, D.C., pretty much every politician is an employee and a flunky and a fetch and carry little stooge for the globalists. They don't represent us anymore and haven't for some time. And so this insane propaganda, all of it anti-white, and all of it anti-Christian and anti-male, this insane propaganda is being pushed relentlessly without any questions or any calling out by anyone anywhere, except the alternative media online, and they're trying to shut that down. Just in Australia a few days ago, there was an elderly gentleman who was in one of the major cities on Australia Day, so Australia, and he was wearing or had the Australian flag on his clothing somewhere, and he wasn't too far away from a Hamas demonstration, and so they arrested this elderly, who must have been in his mid-70s. They arrested this elderly gentleman, white guy, and said that by you having the Australian flag on Australia Day, the Australian flag, national flag on Australia Day, means that you are somehow intending to incite the Hamas demonstrators to some sort of, incite a riot or stir them up, or racial hatred, white supremacy, and so he was arrested, and it seems hard to comprehend, but it's now in most white countries now it is effectively illegal to show the national flag. And if you do show it, you can be accused of hate speech. That could be Germany, it could be Britain, obviously Australia, and Canada, and New Zealand. The list goes on. So that's the level of insanity we're going to. But this futuristic workplace does not include white men, according to what it shows, does not include white men. And first off, I was a little taken aback. So how silly is that? But I don't. I'm now actually. I thought about it and thought, you know what? I'm not taken aback actually by this. It's about what you'd expect from the globalists and the people they control and the little flunky stooges that do their bidding. This is about what you'd expect. The globalists cannot have the power they need and want unless all white people, and certainly white males, have been got rid of. Straight white males want terrible, terrible things as far as the globalists are concerned. They want accountable government. They want taxpayer money to be wisely spent. They want independent courts of law. They want the rule of law to be applied. And so, these are the standards that straight white males want. And this is exactly the opposite of what the globalists want. So straight white males have just got to go. It's that simple. And they're going about it hammer and tongs. Very scary shit. You've been with Tacitus today, your pushback channel, and thank you for listening.